I've been following Sean Diddy on and off, so I figured I'd get some closure on the case. Apparently, as I predicted, he did something wrong but got off on a lot of the other things. What I said here over and over was I don't think he's innocent on everything, but they just need to get him on something, which apparently is what happened. Anyway, let's see what the news is saying.
On count one, the racketeering conspiracy charge, Sean Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, perhaps the most complicated charge for the jury to understand. The count one had provided for a number of predicate acts, but the jury does not have to get into that because they have found Sean Combs not guilty of leading a criminal enterprise, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They will now move to the other four counts, two of them on sex trafficking and on and we have not guilty now on count two, which was sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of sex trafficking when it comes to his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
The thing I'm wondering about is everyone's kind of like saying this, but he definitely beat her around in the hall that time. So wouldn't there be some penalty for that? I guess there's not like long-term jail for DV with no permanent damage. That's what I'm thinking. Like, obviously, it's illegal. It's a horrible thing. But I don't think you get like 10 to 20 years for it or something like that. But obviously, he's guilty of that. But I'm no lawyer. Maybe someone else knows more details.
There was a real debate that the jury heard over the course of the last 2 months about consent and coercion and the complications of deciding when an 11-year relationship between Combs and Cassie Ventura may have become a criminal one. And the jury decided it was not criminal sex trafficking when Sean Combs committed what his attorneys freely admitted was domestic abuse, as you saw in that video. He has been found not guilty now on racketeering conspiracy, not guilty on sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. He has been found guilty on count three, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. He has also been found guilty on count five, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. These charges carry a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison, so we do have a split verdict. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of sex trafficking Cassandra Ventura, but he has been found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution.
Right. So what people were saying was at these freak-offs he had paid people of the night, men as well as women, do these sex acts with all different people. So that was definitely illegal. Because when I was reading it and thinking about what he did wrong, I was thinking, wait a minute, isn't sex work illegal in a lot of places? I mean, that directly. Like, sex work is a loose term. People say sex work for, like, that website, or maybe like just a stripper, but that's not like actual contact. Actual contact is illegal. So that makes sense.
And we're waiting for one more count, the sex trafficking of Jane. And just now the jury has decided that Sean Combs is not guilty of sex trafficking his former girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane. So the jury has now believed that the relationships that Sean Combs had with his former girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and a woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane, were not criminal, did not involve sex trafficking. All Sean Combs has been convicted of here is transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And Kira, those did seem to be the most evident crimes that Sean Combs committed. We heard testimony from the male escorts. The jury heard about the cash that they were paid, and as prosecutors told them, they were not in those hotel rooms for scintillating conversation. Sean Combs guilty of transportation for the purposes of prostitution, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty of sex trafficking.
So basically, until his sentencing, he'll be held, and then we'll see what happens. I feel like I got some closure here. Interest on Sean Diddy hasn't been extremely high, but I wanted to do one video just to kind of give it a little closure. Maybe one more when something definitive happens. If he has adventures in prison, well, yeah, we'll see. All right, I'm rambling. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.